なんとかなったみてえだな。畳みかける。これがスーパーサイヤ人3だ。
All right, what's going on, you fam? Raiyuden here. The new Legend Rarity Super Vegito's kit got released. I'm sorry if my voice sounds a little worn out. We just ended the stream going over the entire tournament. Firstly, that was a beautiful tournament. I think players coming together to rally behind players and specific regions and just having something to cheer for is the kind of thing that makes this game exciting. I think this tournament could not have come at a better time. I know some people were feeling a little bit down about the game, but everyone banding together behind their favorite player or just someone representing a region that they're from, it felt great. All of us just coming together and enjoying some really high skill competitive legends. And I think it goes without saying, the final minute of the final match was so unbelievable. I thought it was scripted. I was just lost for words for how chaotic the entire sequence of events was. But that kind of high tier legends action paced gameplay is what makes us continue playing the game. And honestly, at this point, after playing Legends for years, that's the kind of thing that keeps kindling and tending to the flame that is the passion for the game. So I thought that was beautiful. What a wonderful tournament. Great job by Legends overall. And yeah, it makes me excited to see what the future of this game holds. For them to come out here and announce a brand new rarity, that was not on the radar whatsoever. I was caught off guard. I thought a Super Vegeta would show up, a very small chance, just because there's been a little coincidence between the characters they're releasing and everything we saw in the first anniversary. But I did not expect them to come out and say, here's a brand new rarity for the game. Remember, anniversary is only a few months away. No doubt this new legend rarity is going to take place. But the biggest thing that we all ask ourselves is, with a new rarity probably comes a new level of power. And how big is that new level of power? Let's find out. Super Vegito joins the fight in the new Legend Rarity. Vegitos are always given premium treatment, so he's gonna have that bias of being a fusion warrior, being a Vegito, and now this new rarity. So I can't help but be a little bit nervous. Number 1, Legend Action comboable into special moves / ultimate arts. Area change attacks from the high area change into legend actions deal tons of damage by comboing into a special move or ultimate arts. I was already extremely nervous for this. The area change attack already did damage that it's pretty noticeable. It's not a little, inkling of damage. It's quite a lot. But for that ability to now be chainable into blue cards and ultimates makes me a little bit nervous, because that's just such a free and easy way to get priority. And if anything, something like that might motivate for more cautious play, because now getting caught by something like that just translates to a significant amount of damage. So that makes me very nervous. Number 2, Superior Element Purple Plus. Deal more damage to green element than regular purple element does. So the new Legend Rarity has a superior version of Type Advantage, where instead of dealing 1.5 times damage, you deal 1.75 times damage. You have a superior version of it. You don't even need me to explain. That is unbelievably pay to win. They've set us up to having a ton of powerful greens, and they made purple a very weak element. So for them to set up this Vegito to be purple and have this superior element advantage, you can see what their play was here. They set this up almost masterfully, really. Number 3, unique gauge changes between an attack type and a release type. When the unique gauge is attack type and becomes full, it'll change to a release type and you'll draw a special move arts. While release type, your damage is increased by a ton. Makes sense. You do an entire combo with Vegito, and you guys know how people typically end their combos with the area change attack. Well, because Vegito will now draw a blue card, you're pretty much guaranteed to chain that in. I know that wouldn't be that big of a deal, because if in normal circumstances, you just use the blue at the end. It's just the fact that you can squeeze in that much more extra damage. Number 4, boost damage every card you draw. Every time you draw a card, boost your damage and power up arts based on the type drawn, an offensive trait like Legends Limited Super Vegito had. So the original LF Purple Super Vegito would gain strike attack or blast attack based off of whether you drew a strike or a blast. It was his way of getting more power. So they borrowed that. I know that for this Vegito, it's capped at 70%. And it cannot be stacked. So you draw a strike, your next strike does 70% more damage. You draw a blast, your next blast will do 70% more damage. That's still a lot. The special Dokabaki impact animation against Ultimate Gohan Absorb Buu Super is also a must-see. Show everyone the unparalleled power of Super Vegito, the unrivaled fusion warrior. It's great that they didn't forget about this mechanic. I feel like they could have done, you know, special strike clash animations much earlier. I think the biggest one is without a doubt Frieza and Goku. I don't understand why they didn't do anything for them. But hey, at least it's not forgotten. I thought that entire little sequence was actually quite cool. Vegito turning into a piece of candy. But it is what it is. So he's purple. Saiyan, Super Saiyan, Potara, Fusion Warrior, Majin Buu Saga. Let's see his Z ability. So his Z ability at 14 stars gives Fusion Warrior, Saiyans, or Majin Buu Saga 38% strike attack and defense. And if you're a Fusion Warrior, you get 18% blast attack. So it doesn't look like there's any crazy power creep on the Z ability. I was kind of worried we'd see like, oh, 10% damage inflicted or 20% damage guard or something to tie with the new rarity. Strike attack, he has blast armor, so charge in without fear of enemy blast darts. You'll even gain 30% guard penetration on activation. Damage guard penetration, 30% for 5 counts on activating a strike. What the hell? It used to be in increments of 10, now it's 30. You know how dumb that is? You stack up 3 strike cards and you compare to some of the rarest main abilities in the game. That's broken. Blast attack. On activation, all enemy health restore minus 30%. This is incredibly important because how many characters have a disrupt at 50% of their health where they heal a ton? How many characters, when their unique gauge fills up, they heal? Full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Gogeta, Orange Piccolo when the unique gauge is filled. So this just means those green characters are not going to have the same powerful sustainability. Blue card. Destroy your entire hand on activation and then draw 3 cards. Plus, if your unique gauge is release type, destroy 3 of your enemy's cards. So he does massive impact damage. When you activate it, destroy your entire hand to draw 3 cards. You get 30% blue card damage. This, of course, aligns with Vegito's passive. When he draws a strike, his next strike does 70% more damage. He draws a blast, his next blast does 70% more damage. That's what this is for. They want you to get those buffs. If your unique gauge is release type and you activate this blue card, you'll get 30 ki and you'll destroy 3 enemy cards. Cannot be cancelled out by most special moves. This is interesting. This is like, I guess, Ultra Rosé, for example, where it's not going to translate to a clash. Instead, you take priority over it, which is interesting. Green card. Restores 70% of your Vanish gauge and nullify cover change. Power up your arts card based on the number of cards in your hand. So the green card, you'll draw 2 cards if you have 3 or fewer. You get 40 ki, 70% Vanish gauge restore 3 times, nullify cover changes for 5 times. That's fine. Also based on the cards in hand. If you get a strike, damage on your next strike, a hit plus 70%. Blast, same idea. Blue card, your next blue card damage plus 30%. If your unique gauge is release type, nullify element disadvantages for the ultimate. Supreme slice damage. On activation, destroy the entire hand and draw 4 new cards. Ultimate damage plus 50%, which cannot be cancelled. Nullify endurance for 3 counts. If the unique gauge is release type, you will go type neutral, which cannot be cancelled. That's a big deal. And cancel enemy buff effects. This is a huge, huge, huge deal. Uncancelable type neutral. So much for their design philosophy, saying they didn't want to give everybody so much type neutral. Main ability: increase your unique gauge charge rate by 100% and reduce the enemy's ki by 100. Destroy a card to draw your ult, get 30% health, 50 ki, unique gauge charge rate plus 100%. This is going to be huge. They want you to pop that main ability immediately with this Vegito and go on a rampage. They just want you to go card, quick attack, blue, all the time. Enemy ki minus 100. Starter ability. This character has endurance and can even nullify AoE green cards. The special strike animation is also a sight to behold. 320% damage, 260 damage guard, 70% key recovery, level 1 card draw speed, nullify AoE greens twice. This is 100% welcome. They've decided to release a bunch of AoE green characters and release very weak purples, thus making this one guy the answer to the biggest problems in the meta. Those of you that are watching this probably tuned into that tournament, and you and I can both agree the green cards were the defining factor for who won and who lost. The first match was like 8 AoE greens in 30 seconds. It was ridiculous. 8 AoE greens just flew out there. This is the kind of character to help deal with those things. And more importantly, mono green was a pretty prevalent team. So those two things go to show how weak purple is and how badly we need somebody to deal with AoE greens. Vegito's subcount on Switch is -2. Has 50% recovery on endurance with the special strike animation. So far, numerically, his starter ability is not pushing the needle. 260 damage guard and 320% damage inflicted aligns with what we've seen, which is good. Unique ability. Every time you draw a card, recover your health and ki, as well as boost your damage. Plus, power up your arts based on the type drawn. This has great synergy with your special move, and ultimate arts, since they all force you to draw cards. So on battlefield entry or area change, draw 2 cards if your hand has 3 or fewer, heal 10%, ki plus 40, nullify cover change for 5 counts, nullify damage received element disadvantage for 5 counts, destroy 1 enemy card, enemy ki minus 35, and enemy draw speed -1. It's interesting that Vegito will also net these things when he slams the opponent to the ground or punches them into the sky. It's nice that they're trying to come up with ways to integrate the dynamic area battles to unit kits to sort of justify it. So this is interesting. A big part of this is, you end your combo against your opponent, slam them into the ground, hit them with the blue. You're now gonna, if you didn't have the blue, this will give you 2 cards. You get buffed up, you got all these wonderful things in your hand, but if you had a blue, you'd be able to chain into it. So yeah, interesting stuff. This could give you the possibility of drawing a blue, thus continuing your damage. For every card that he draws, he'll heal 3%. He gets 15 ki and 15% damage for 10 counts uncancelable. That's stupid. And based on the cards drawn, your next strike card, 70% damage. Draw blast, your next blast card, 70% damage. And your next blue, 30% blue card damage. When you win the strike clash, you get 20% damage. Release type, on vanish step, destroy a card to draw a green card. That's interesting. Look at that. Release type gauge, when you vanish, you'll destroy a card to get yourself a green, so you can then get your vanish back. When on the field, an enemy activates a blue, ultimate awaken arts or rising rush, damage guard plus 10%, uncancelable, and cancel enemy buff effects. Strike cover change, chainable with the blue. When the unique gauge becomes full, draw special move arts, and if there's a defeated battle member, you'll even draw an ultimate arts. This pairs well with the Legends action that's comboable with the special move and ultimate arts. Damn. Damn. You fill your unique gauge, you can draw a friggin' ult. Starts as attack type. When you fill it, becomes release type. Draw blue. 50 ki. Cancel attribute downgrades under normal conditions. If you lost an ally, destroy a card and draw the ult next. Protect your hand. This is stupid. This is crazy. The scenario they want to cook up is, let's say you lost the battle member. you get priority with Vegito. You combo them with a bunch of cards. You finish your combo with the quick attack, the dynamic area battle. You slam them into the ground. You lost somebody, and at this point, you now have an ultimate drawn in your hand. And remember, this is when it turns into a release type, and we know that when Vegito, the unique gauge, becomes a release type with the ultimate, that his ultimate has him be uncancelable type neutral. That's crazy. He's gonna do a stupid amount of damage. While it's release type, 50% damage. He's now at level 2 card draw speed. Overdrive gauge charge rate plus 50%? Wow, okay. That's overpowered as crap. Nullify attribute downgrades uncancelable. When the unique gauge reaches 0, you switch back to attack type, and it charges moderately each time a Striker Blast is used. The release type decreases only when he's on the field. Legend action. So this is sort of the new ability for these characters. Perform an area change attack from the high area, then combo into a special move or ultimate arts. I don't really think I need to say it. I think this character is at least top 3 in the game. Now, a big reason why I say this is because, and I know it sounds insane, FSK is just that cracked out. I'm not even kidding. FSK is so good that there's still a debate on whether or not this character is as good as him. And I don't know how Ultra Kid Buu would fare as well. Hence why I want to give these two, room for contention with him. So he's comfortably a top 3 character, but he looks absolutely insane. The one thing I'm scared of is how quickly they'll push the needle with how powerful legend characters are compared to everyone else. And even worse, as they said, the way going forward is legend characters are now going to be standing shoulder to shoulder with ultra characters and LF characters, and I guess every rarity under will be taking another back seat. So you expect less LFs and expect more ultras and expect more legend characters. Now, I don't really know how I feel about that. Ultras have so far always been some of the best characters in the game, but we'll have to see what that means. You guys let me know in the comment section below what you think, but this is an absurd character fitting of the legend rarity. And until next time, guys, peace.